Well, the title says Sonic clone, but it's more of a Sonic, Mega Man, and Kirby clone. Just getting that out of the way ahead of time. I take a long break, and this is what I come back with. You must be disappointed. Wait a second. Oh yeah, this is an old script. Oh yeah, I made this like late, like in December. I think I made this in December. Holy crap. Man, I had the script in hiding for a bit. Yeah, sorry about that. The Undertale video wasn't supposed to be my comeback video. This was. So, yeah. Well, let's just get on with the video, because I still want to talk about this game. Like, I really love this game, and I just have to talk about it. I am now a really big fan of Spark the Electric Jester. I understand I'm over 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. If you guys didn't watch my last video, thank you so much. And even though this technically could be my 1,000 subscriber special, it really isn't. I'm gonna be honest. I tried to have something planned, but I didn't. I'll get back to you guys in about a week. But this is what I'm making a video about, and it's because I really want to share this game, so having over 1,000 people who could possibly watch the video is actually a pretty good thing for me. There is a sequel to this game that I'm going to cover later, but this video is going to focus on the first one, and how good of a game it is. Well, now that I think about it, it's more of a sales pitch. Now let's continue. So, Spark the Electric Jester is about this guy named Spark, who keeps losing jobs to robots, and when they start taking over the world, he feels the need to fight them. The story is relatively simple, and there are more things that are added to the plot over the course of its run, but it isn't necessary to enjoy the game. But to be honest, as a person who is notorious for skipping cutscenes in games that aren't story-based, I actually watched all the cutscenes, except for when I accidentally skipped one near the end of the story, but my point still stands. The story, while not deep, has a sense of comedy that kept me around. Spark is a fun character to watch. He isn't breaking the fourth wall, none of the characters do, but the dialogue is generally funny throughout because it doesn't feel like dialogue. Sometimes that makes simple transactions funny because it's so oh, that's funny. Sometimes it makes simple transactions funny because it's so matter of fact. Sometimes the bad guys just randomly dropping, oh, by the way, we're gonna fight now, is just endearing. Some people may not be able to take something like this seriously, but hey, it's all fun for me. But the gameplay is what matters most, and, well, it's really fun. As I said at the beginning of the video, it's a mix between Kirby, Mega Man, and Sonic, more specifically Mega Man X. The Kirby comparison comes from the game mechanic of getting powers in the levels. There are 13 power-ups you can pick up in stages. There is the Wind Jester, Gravity Jester, Electric Bat, Spark Board, Plasma Sword, Cool Jester, Fire Jester, Edgy Jester, Mega Gram Hammer, Archer Jester, Magical Jester, Knight Jester, and Mage Jester. A lot of power-ups, but these are all very good and have a good amount of thought put into them. From range to melee, from mashy to technique.
It is a little something for everyone.
Of course, I have my favorites. The hammer was my main for most of the adventure, while I also used a lot of the Plasma Sword, Spark Board, Wind, and Edgy when they were available. A power-up like Wind and Edgy are really good for maneuverability, while the Plasma Sword and Hammer are really good for terms of combat. And because you can store two power-ups at once, you could store a maneuverability power-up and you could store a combat-based power-up and have the best of both worlds. Not to say that you can't get through the game as just base Spark, but it's really difficult. I lost some power-ups on level 15 and I was there for an hour. So, not recommended for a first playthrough unless you're a masochist. Now, the Mega Man X comparison also slightly comes from the powers because Spark in his base form is a mix between X and Zero from the Mega Man X games. Spark has an electric attack that is like a short sword, and also has a charge-up laser attack, not unlike a Mega Buster. Spark also has this dash that is used to be fast, run up walls, and parry enemy attacks. Yes, you can parry in this game, and I wish the game told me. I did the tutorial, and in the tutorial, it doesn't tell you that you can parry. So, yes, if you want to survive, especially on the harder difficulties, you gotta learn how to parry properly. I wish I knew how to parry before the second to last level in the game. Anyway, the Sonic comparison comes from the game being a fast momentum, to a certain extent, based platformer. Spark can reach some really high speeds, which makes some precision platforming a little rough before you get used to the controls, but once you do, it just works. The thing is, speed was added pretty late into the game's development. The game was going to be pretty slow like a Mega Man game, but the creator found that the game was boring and he added in the speed to make the game more fun. And I'm glad he did, but it does add some long stretches of just holding right. But overall, it was a net positive. The game also constantly references Sonic. Shadow is referenced through the edgy power-up, and you could literally roll up into a ball with the wind power-up, so the Sonic comparison is pretty easy to make. The level design is simple. It's really fun. It balances combat, platforming, and speed really well. The combat is relatively simple, but the power-ups add a lot to the combat to make it constantly interesting. There are also directional inputs to vary it up a bit. This game also just has a lot of content in general. When you beat the game, you unlock a mode where you have access to all the powers, a hard mode where you have 3 health bars, a hard mode with 1 health bar, and you get to play with the doppelganger Fark in his own story with different level design, harder enemies, and new bosses. So even after you beat the main story, which took me about 3 to 4 hours, not counting all the deaths that I incurred in level 15, it had way more content than it needed to for its relatively cheap price of $10. It really is worth every cent. I was saving this for the end because it's the most obvious good thing about this game, but it just looks and sounds amazing! The music is so good, and the sprite work is beautiful! It's all just a grade A experience in that regard. Spark really is a great game. The only thing that I can hope that this video did is that I at least intrigued you enough into buying the game on Steam. I don't have many criticisms for the game as a whole, except for maybe it overstays its welcome a bit at times, with really long levels and 16 stages, but it's a fun ride the whole way, even when it was kicking my ass. But we aren't even done with Spark yet. There's also a sequel. So does Spark the Electric Jester have a rough transition to 3D? Find out next time. Hey guys! Yeah, I'm back. My new plan is to try to upload every Thursday morning. I am back in college, so things are a little rough now. I want to try and upload weekly, but it's probably going to be more likely bi-weekly because I just have so many papers that I have to write, so many books that I have to read. College is rough. So, but I am working on the things that I promised. I am working on that Gintama retrospective because I know someone's going to ask, and I am working on my Sonic retrospective that's going to be coming out this year. I'm getting some of this extra stuff that I've been holding off on out of the way. I'm gonna get through the Spark series, and then I'm gonna do Sonic GT. I'm gonna do my official in-depth analysis on Sonic GT, and then I think I'll get on the grind for the rest of the year. Hopefully I can get the next video out next week. If I don't, I'll let you guys know in the community tab, because I got that now because we're over 1,000, baby. I love this. I love you guys. I'm so glad. If the last video didn't catch you, I'm probably gonna keep thanking you guys for a while. Thank you for sticking by me, and see you next time.